how's it going? So today I'd like to talk to you about how to train efficiently as a pole dancer or as an aerialist, and also on how to be smart about it. So you probably heard the following phrase a lot of times already: consistency is the key. And this is true, and it's good to know that. So in order to progress in our aerial skills, in our pole skills, also on our flexibility journey, we actually have to be consistent. But what can we do to actually be able to be more consistent? What can we do to make it easier? So to answer this question, I actually want to talk about 3 different aspects. One of them is recovery. The next one is having a good training plan. And the third one is keeping the motivation high. So let's talk about recovery. So in order to be consistent in our training, we actually have to give our body time to recover. And that way our body will be nice and ready for the next workout. And that will also help us to stay very focused on our training session, and it will also help us to give 100% as we're working out. What happens if we're just like, okay, cool recovery, I just want to work out right now because it's fun and I really want to progress, so I'm just going to do a little bit more and not worry too much about recovery. What will happen then? Let's say you're working out 6 days a week, have 1 rest day, and you're doing like super intense training sessions every single day, and you're just not really properly recovering, like your body can't keep up with the recovery. This might actually give you a lot of progress in like the first week, the second week, third week, maybe a whole month or 2 if you're lucky, and you will feel like, oh yeah, that's cool, I'm getting so much better, and you'll just keep going. But then eventually you get to a stage where it's just a plateau, like you're not going to be progressing as much anymore, and you're actually more prone to injury because your muscles didn't recover in that whole time, like you didn't give them the chance to recover, so your body will start to compensate for that. And because we're in that mindset of the more I do, the better I progress, because that's what we experience in those first week, and trust me, I've been there as well, we're just going to keep going. So we're just going to be like, oh, I'm not progressing, it must be because I'm not doing enough. So we're just going to add more workouts to that. Those workouts won't really be focused, they will be just like wishy-washy, and we're just dragging ourselves through it, and eventually it's just going to cause heaps of stress for us, and eventually our mind and our body both don't want to keep going anymore, and we just have to force ourselves to keep going, and it's just not going to be fun anymore. So the long-term results from actually just ignoring recovery and just a keep going attitude the whole time will be either a plateau in skills, or actually even a decrease in skills, overexhaustion, and also heaps of stress because of that. And we are more prone to injury because of all that, because we are overexhausted, because we are stressed out, because our skills are not getting better, we're just stressing us even more. So looking at that, in the long run, this is not really a good option for us. It's better to actually pay attention to recovery, listen to your body, and just see how you go, how much recovery time you need. The older you are, the more recovery time you will need. So just see what your body feels like, and then try to adjust your training plan accordingly, and actually schedule those recovery times as well into your workout plan. Like, you can still be active during those recovery sessions, just don't do any intense training. Have a massage, just do some relaxed stretching, go swimming or whatnot, like just things like that, just to give your body time to recover. Also, a little tip here, I know social media shows you the whole time everyone's working out every day, and that's absolutely not true. Like, I'm just really bad with posting at the same day, so I just use videos from like days ago. So even on a day where I'm not even training, I can post something where I was training, so it's not really true. Sometimes you have 100 photos from one day, and then you just post them over a whole week or so, and it looks like those people are just constantly training, but that's actually not true. Or if it's true, then it's not good either. So just get away from that idea, and also try to not compare yourself to others, because each body is different. So even if someone's actually working out 5 days a week and is feeling good about that, there might be a reason for it. Like, that person might have been active their whole lives. That person might also be like younger or something, so have a quicker recovery time and all of this. There's different factors that play into it. So yeah, just try to find a way that works for you, and especially if you're a beginner, just take it slow, take it easy. You'll get there. So it's actually even good to just take a break of social media sometimes as well. Or at least to just be aware, if you're following a lot of athletes, just be aware that it's okay to rest. Because I got to that point where I was like thinking, okay, cool, I have to do more, I have to progress more, and it's completely exhausted me. And I was also panicking if I realized that I didn't work out on one day. So I really felt like, oh no, you didn't do anything, you're gonna get heaps worse than that. But that's actually not gonna happen. So you can even take several days off, take a whole week off if you need it, and then hop back into it, and you'll see better results than if you just keep going every single day and keep exhausting yourself, although your body's not ready for it. So just keep that in mind. 80% of your training progress actually comes from the recovery. The training is just a little part of it, and yeah, just keep in mind that our muscles are actually growing while we are recovering. So they're not growing while we are working out. So if we're working out and then not recovering, just keep going in that, it's going to make it a lot harder to let those muscles grow and to let them heal again, so we can keep going for the next workout. So just keep that in mind. Recovery is actually more important than the training itself. Like, of course, you need the training to have the recovery, to have the need for recovery, but the recovery is such an important part of it, and that's why I'm just trying to really point that out here. Do not forget about it. Don't feel bad about taking breaks and having rest days, and yeah, keep active, keep busy during your rest days, but don't overdo it with intensive training sessions, especially when you're a beginner, especially when you don't have much workout experience, and especially when you're doing like bodyweight workouts like aerial arts, pole dancing, flexibility really often as well. Cool that we're doing middle splits, we still need our bag for that as well in there, so just keep that in mind when you're writing up your training schedule and when you're training. So the second point was the importance of a good training plan. Of course, firstly, as I already said, make sure that in your workout plan you have enough recovery time scheduled just to prevent overtraining, which was what I explained before, where you just keep going, no resting, no nothing, and then eventually, yeah, you're just in that circle where you just think, oh, I have to do more in order to progress, but then that's not working and it's actually doing the opposite. So yeah, keep that in mind, recovery in your workout plan. The next thing we should put into our training plan as well, especially as beginners, is conditioning exercises. So try to do a lot of conditioning exercises, can be on the pole, off the pole, and yeah, just to actually build up the proper strength to be able to perform all those moves. If we have the strength to do certain moves, it will be much easier for us to learn all those tricks, because rather than having to really focus on engaging those muscles and that and being like, oh, this is so exhausting, like having all those thoughts, stress related, being like, oh, I can't hold it anymore, we will actually be able to hold a position nice and comfortably and like think, okay, cool, what's going next? I'm putting this leg there, this on there, okay, cool, easy. Actually, during the first lockdown, I only had a really small aerial rig, and the only thing that I really could do on it was conditioning exercises. So I just kept going, like each week I just did some conditioning, and then later when the studios reopened, it was actually super easy for me to learn so many things, and I could concentrate much more on the move because I didn't have to worry about having the strength for it so much, and I could also keep going for longer. So yeah, keep that in mind. Definitely good to like condition your body for whatever you want to do later, either aerial or pole or whatever else you want to do. It's always good to throw in conditioning exercises right from the beginning. This will also make us less prone to injury because we're engaging the correct muscles straight from the beginning, and that way we won't get injured so quickly. Also, conditioning exercises, you can do it on equipment, so you can do it on the pole, on the silks, on the hoop, whatever you got there. Or you can also take it down to the floor and just do different exercises that are very similar. I actually do have a little video here where it's all just exercises without like aerial or pole equipment, but it's just exercises that you can just do at home. And also Pilates session is, for example, really good to actually strengthen your deep muscles in that, which is really helpful for our workouts. And yeah, so just try to work on that, try to condition your body real well, and that will make it heaps easier later on. So the next thing we want to work on is our flexibility. And when I'm saying that, I don't mean getting into splits and bridges and whatnot. I just mean working through a range of motion and maintaining it as well. So just if you do leg lifts, just do leg lifts as high up as you can, and then just keep going, just strengthen it a bit, or like arm circles, work through the full range of motion that you have, trying to go through all of it, like with hip circles and everything. So just little things like that, just to get your body prepared for stretching later. Because if you're just going to tell your body straight away, hey, go into those splits, it's not really going to work out. Your body will not really be keen on doing that. It won't be prepared to actually do it, especially like when you're a beginner and you haven't worked up much before, especially when you haven't done much stretching before. And I'm not speaking here about relaxed after workout stretches. I actually mean like intensive stretching sessions. So make sure you just work on some exercises where you're actually going through your existing range of motion first, before later you try to increase that range of motion. Then another very important thing is to actually include correctional exercises as well. So firstly, thanks to our phones, thanks to being a society that just looks down all the time, our postures are getting worse and worse. So if we want to be nice pole dancers, aerialists, whatnot, we actually have to have a good posture as well. So that's like a good starting point. Just build in some correctional exercises into your workout plans just to be able to have like a good posture. Another thing is to just see whether your body has any other like trouble zones. For me, it's for example scoliosis. So I've had scoliosis since I was a child and I never did anything about it. Although I know that I can't really change it anyways, I can still strengthen my muscle just to be able to actually hold me up in a proper position and to counterbalance that scoliosis. And also good to know, what do those things mean for your training? So I've got scoliosis, what does that mean for my training? Like maybe I'll have to be a little bit more careful when I'm doing splits and that, because like half my body's falling out or something. So maybe I should just work on that to get my spine properly straight before I start working on splits and that. So that's always really, really important and really often forgot about, because we just want to hop into those cool tricks straight away, but it's actually really good to condition our bodies, to work on our flexibility, and to also do some correctional exercises before we hop on into those cool moves, because all of this will actually prepare our body for those cool moves, and they will work out a lot quicker. And yeah, this does totally not mean don't do any pole at all, don't do any aerial at all. Just make sure that you don't overdo it with the tricks. Like, don't go for tricks that are too hard for you, but just take it step by step. And never forget to include some of those exercises into your workout. For example, you can do some correctional exercises right at the start of it. Like, just do some exercise to actually help you have a good posture during that whole workout. Also, like flexibility exercises, working through the range of motion, not the splits, and getting your whole body mobile and that. Like, totally do that at the beginning of a session. Then also conditioning, it's a good way to warm up our body properly. So we can do that when we're planning on having an aerial session on the silks or on the hoop or on a pole or whatnot. Or we can do it on another day. So doing like off equipment conditioning and just doing that on one day, and on another day we just do the pole and just do whatever we like to do on it. So just don't forget to include those ones, because that will help you so much to actually get that body awareness that you need to know what you're doing on the equipment, and also to be able to stabilize your body properly. So also for like cross training, if you're into going to the gym, if you're into calisthenics or whatever, like that's sometimes a little bit too much then. Like when we're doing a lot of intensive pole or aerial workouts, maybe just keep it to something like swimming, where you're actually not putting too much pressure on your joints. But like swimming is actually really good because we don't have to carry our body weight the whole time, because we're just floating in the water, and we can still like work those muscles without putting too much pressure on our joints. Or just on active rest days, like feel free massages, light stretching sessions, and whatever else you like. Going for walks. So if you're a complete beginner, just try to keep it to one pole session or aerial session or whatever a week, and then the other days just use them to do whatever else you've got there, and give your body proper time to recover and just enjoy that recovery time as well. So try out some nice things, try out some self-massaging, or go swimming. And if you then notice that you're actually building up a lot of strength and that it's all getting easier, you can increase the intensity of your training, you can increase the duration of your training, or you can make it more sessions a week, so you can just see how it goes. But don't do all of those at once, like just go step by step. For example, add a second session if you have time for it, or maybe just make that one session a little bit longer or more intense, or whatever you prefer, however it suits your needs and however it fits your timetable as well. So I know that in today's society we all want to have everything straight away, but with sport this is actually not that easy. So we'll actually have to take a step back and actually plan in that recovery time in order to be able to progress quicker and safer and more efficiently. Even if it might feel counterintuitive, it is still the good way to go. Try it out and you'll see it will be a lot easier than going the other way and then seeing it go up and then back downwards. Alrighty, so the third part was keeping your motivation high. So for that, we want to set achievable goals. So we don't want to be unrealistic about our goals in that. We just want to see, okay, cool, what do I want to learn? When do I want to achieve this? And what do I have to do to get there? And like, what's realistic? What's a good deadline for that? What could I deal with? Also, try to prioritize your activities accordingly to the goals that you're having. So if you want to be able to invert, but you only have like an hour a month or something, like that's just going to make it hard. If you really want to invert and that's your priority, you'll have to be able to make time for that, at least like once a week or maybe twice a week, doing one on-pole session, one off-pole session, or same thing with silks or whatever, just to be able to actually achieve that goal and work on it consistently. Also the other way around, if you're someone who does a lot of gym workouts, calisthenics and that, as I already said, you might have to cut back on that one and give pole or aerial a little bit of a priority if you really want to progress in that. But if you just really want to keep going for your Kali or whatnot, like just keep that going, but then just lower down your goals for aerial and pole a little bit, because you just have to set priorities. You can't have it all straight away. Eventually, in the long run, sure thing, but at each point in your life, you just have to focus on the one thing, especially when it's always like full body workouts with everything that you're doing and that. So pay attention here to get proper rest and adjust your priorities accordingly. So you should also monitor your progress. That means take pictures of certain things that you're doing, or take little videos and that, if that's quicker. If you're doing conditioning exercises, write down how many sets you do, how many repetitions you do of a certain exercise, and then try to gradually increase it. Because by doing the same amount of sets and reps each time, we're not really going to get everywhere, but try to slowly increase it as you realize, oh, that's getting really easy now, so you can increase it or make the exercise a little bit more difficult than that. So that way you will step by step build it up properly without over-exhausting you. Like for example with chin-ups or pull-ups, it's just really exhausting when you try to do them straight away. It feels like, okay, cool, I'm not going anywhere, nothing's really happening. But then when you try to take it from up and just lower down, or if you actually use your legs to take weight off, or if you use bands to take weight off or whatever, that's going to make it a lot easier after a while, and it's not going to be so frustrating, and your brain will be like, oh cool, that's actually something I can do and it's not too bad. So you'll be more keen on actually doing the exercise rather than when you're really struggling straight from the beginning, and then your brain will be like, oh, I don't really want to do it because it's just frustrating and it's exhausting and it's just stressful. So just try to pay attention to that to gradually progress all your exercises and the repetitions and all of that. Also, another very important thing is to not compare yourself to others. Other people have a different background, they started at a different age, they've been doing aerial or pole or whatever for longer, or they might have more body awareness, done more similar sports prior to starting aerial and pole. So even if someone's going shorter but did gymnastics before, gonna have a quicker progression than someone that didn't really do anything before. Also, they might have more knowledge about certain things, about how to engage this and that and what to pay attention to, and how to write up a proper training plan, also how to adjust like other things in your life to be good at your training. So taking into account all those different factors, it's actually not even fair to compare yourself to someone else because you're just never on the same level. So it's just going to be frustrating. If you're comparing yourself to others, just do it in like a healthy manner, but try to just avoid it. Try to always compare yourself to the person you've been the day before or the week before. Try to always beat your results from your last workouts and that, and try to just progress on your individual journey. Alrighty, that being said, have fun writing up your own little workout plan. Try to pay attention to all those things that I mentioned before. I really hope you could get something useful out of it and that I could clarify some things there. And always pay attention to those 3 things: recovery, good training plan, and keeping that motivation up. See you soon. Bye.